Welcome. You're listening to TALRadio powered by Touch a Life Foundation, and this is Foodology. I'm radio host Devansh, and on this show, I talk about the enormous world of a little word called food. This is the 50th episode of my food show, Foodology, and I'm really happy that I even have this wonderful opportunity to work with TALRadio and such an amazing team, and that I officially completed 50 episodes, which is surreal. Today's episode is a little different from what usually is. I'm celebrating the number 50 with this special episode. Today, I will be talking about the enormous world of a little word called Devansh. Exactly 1 year ago, I had no idea that I would be hosting my own radio show, which is one of the greatest things that has ever happened to me. And I remember the same time in May, seeing an online advertisement of a radio show audition by Touch a Life Foundation. And out of genuine curiosity, since everything was on lockdown because of the second wave, I decided to audition for it. And even my parents encouraged me to go for it. I honestly had no expectations. But within a week, I got a call that I was shortlisted. That feeling was completely out of the world. And I was on cloud 9 because as much as I love food, now that I actually got to host a radio show all about the world of food was nothing more than a dream. In today's episode, I will be getting into my journey and how this almost 1 year has been with TALRadio, some highlighted moments from last year, and the creative process of making an episode of Foodology. Every episode is dedicated to a particular food topic, but today's episode is dedicated to my journey. I'm radio host Devansh. Well, that's something you already know and have been hearing for like a year. I want to take things from the start and let you in on my life a little. My first memories of life in general involve watching movies and listening to music. Maybe that's when it was decided by the gods of life that this kid would be the creative type. And from that point, there hasn't been any moment in my life in which I didn't let my creativity shine. Since I was a child, I was involved in all kinds of artistic stuff, be it music, painting, or even martial arts. I have been singing since the age of 5, and I have completely adored it since then. I completed my schooling from St. Stephen's School, Chandigarh, and currently I'm a full-time college student pursuing BBA in Culinary Arts. In just a few weeks, I'm going to graduate, which is as exciting as it is scary. By grace through faith. This is one of my favorite quotes, which I came across on the internet, and I forever abide by it. Back in May of 2021, when it was the second lockdown, I got this incredible opportunity to host my own talk show. I was really excited, but also anxious at the same time because before this, I was just a normal teenager who attended online classes. Well, technically not, because none of us kids paid attention during those. And then bored myself to sleep every night scrolling through Instagram. I had no idea, let alone any experience on how to host shows and the whole creative process behind it. But luckily, I had the TALRadio team backing me up. I vividly remember having back and forth calls with the team members and them explaining me the details, the working, and making me familiar with the work. Now, apart from being excited, it was also my time to take responsibility and actually get to work. While brainstorming ideas, it struck me that most of us begin our days with coffee. So why not begin Foodology with coffee? That's right. This is the 50th episode, and the first episode of this show was all about the world of coffee. I went on researching about this simple ingredient that we are all familiar with. Compiled all my research and talked about how this drink started as a strange berry in the continent of Africa and its accidental discovery. coffee as a drink started gaining popularity and traveled to the neighboring countries. During the 1600s, coffee began traveling to Europe. As coffee was introduced to the streets of Venice and Rome, the Catholic Pope was pressurized by his advisor to denounce coffee for its association with Islam and its fascinating effect on the drinkers. His advisors called coffee a bitter invention of the devil. In today's world, out of many varieties of coffee, the most popular ones are Arabica, Robusta, Liberica, and Excelsa. And then I continue talking about the types of coffee beverages around the world. And let's not forget about the episodes where I talked about two of the most iconic flavorings on this planet: vanilla and chocolate, both originating in Mesoamerica, with great myths associated with their origins. Honestly, I had so much fun preparing those episodes because even I myself didn't know about the information that I came across. It was truly enlightening for me and also very interesting because we all love vanilla and chocolate. Today, our world would be incomplete without those two. I started getting used to all the fun behind the creative process of hosting food shows. And the best part was that any episode that I created on a particular food topic, I started to crave that food a lot. And I would legit go out to get that food immediately. In the month of July, I remember I got an assignment in which I had to prepare a cheesecake. That turned out to be amazing. And that's when the light bulb switched on. I thought, why not make an entire episode dedicated to the humble cheesecake? To my surprise, there were so many things that I came across during my research, and I had no idea of all those things. Episode 10 was all about the long history of tea and how it shaped our world. The most consumed beverage in the world after water, with an estimate of 3 billion cups per day. It is the only beverage commonly served hot and iced anytime, anywhere, and for any occasion. Although coffee is America's preferred choice of beverage, tea has made a stable place and has proven to be extremely popular, with its popularity growing day by day. Then I remember making episodes about sweeteners, sugar and honey being the oldest sweetener in the world, and how sugar dethroned it and became the most popular one. I love sharing all the things that I come across to all of you, and if you're a new listener of Foodology, you must tune in to the future episodes. And you can also listen to podcasted episodes on TALRadio website, app, and the YouTube channel. Currently on this show, I'm doing a 3-part series about the trinity of the culinary world: ginger, garlic, and onion. There's a lot that goes behind creating a single episode of Foodology. Like I said, that I'm incredibly grateful for this opportunity. There are some times where I feel extremely stressed to keep up with the episodes. And I'm not trying to complain, but being a full-time college student and also managing a talk show can be difficult sometimes. But again, I don't think I could be any more grateful than this. The whole process begins with me coming up with an idea. How I come up with ideas is simply look around in real life. Whether I'm working in my college, in the kitchen, or whether I'm taking a walk in the park. Any idea can come across suddenly. This whole process of idea generation is definitely not planned. Most of the Foodology topics that I come up with are accidental and never planned. Because even the idea of the first episode about coffee came to me when I went out with a friend to drink coffee. How interesting, right? Okay, so now I have the idea. The next comes the research part, which is definitely the longest and slightly difficult. I have divided my whole research process into stages. Every day I take out time from my busy schedule to research and note it down in my phone's notes app. I read a lot of books, a lot of articles, and from all the information I know, I compile it in one place. And once all of that is done, I start recording. I have specific days for recording when my schedule is not busy. After the recording comes the editing and music selection part, which are definitely my favorites. And then the show airs, and you guys listen to it. I want to take this time to actually thank the incredible team of Better Life Foundation and TALRadio for constantly supporting me and being the kindest people ever. Majorly, I want to thank you all for listening to my show and supporting me. And I hope this bond stays forever. Now, since it's the 50th episode, I will be taking leave because I have to go celebrate. So should you. Thank you so much for sticking around with me on this episode. Make sure you look forward to the next one because interesting things are coming up. This is just the beginning. Thank you again, and I hope you have a beautiful and a magical day ahead. See you soon.